You have to remember that not everything that's like sugar-free / low calorie means that it's like 0 carb. I think it's really important to familiarize yourself with the labels and the ingredients of what are in things. This one has artificial colors in it. There's red 40 and blue 1 in there, which normally is not something that I go for, but I have a hard time just drinking plain water. So one of these once in a while I don't think is horrible, but there's 2 carbs in it and that's it. But I'm trying to stick to my macros, and tracking those 2 carbs is going to make a difference. So I make it easier on myself by I take a Sharpie and mark, I measure out 1 cup, pour it in there, and then I mark it so I don't have to measure every time. I can just pour it in. So we do 1 cup of whole milk, 1 scoop of my isolate, 25 grams of protein in this. This one's pretty good. I feel like what works for me is to try to eat the same meals regularly, and that's less figuring out and math that I have to do. Just consistency in your diet kind of sounds boring, but you can always change things up. To make it more of a milkshake, I like to add some ice, a spoonful of espresso powder. Sometimes when I'm feeling a little extra tired, like today. It was a rough night last night. We had some stuff going on, had friends over, and then our hunting dog decided to one of our cats outside, and my daughter saw it all happen, so that was a big stress. I have my milk, my whey protein, isolate, my espresso powder, and ice in here, and I'm gonna give it a good blend in my bullet. And people think protein shakes are for people who are trying to gain muscle. Yes, they're a good extra source of protein for people who need it. Right now, because of the weight I am, I like to try to keep as much muscle as I can for now. So my protein number is pretty high. This just makes it a lot easier for me to get protein in during the day instead of eating 3 pounds of chicken. It's just easier. There's always going to be somebody that's that's not the right way to do it. There's always going to be somebody who has different knowledge, and I'm not saying that they're wrong, but sometimes you just have to do what works best for you and your lifestyle. I can't sit here and eat, especially the way the egg prices are right now, I can't sit here and eat 13 eggs for breakfast when I can have a scoop or 2 of protein powder and drink my breakfast on my way to work. I think if I tried to eat 13 eggs, I'd probably throw up. That sounds disgusting to eat that many eggs. If you add, delicious if you added extra stuff in that, maybe. That's a lot of eggs.
That's a lot of eggs. That's a lot of eggs.
Okay, anyways, I'm gonna drink this, and I'm gonna get ready for my day and do some cleaning because that's just my life. I'll take you along with me, and we'll just track our macros and get the day going. Okay, bye. Going to the Amish store with my mom, and it's almost lunchtime, but I am not ready to eat quite yet. I'm going to pack myself something to just hold me over so that I'm not tempted to buy some crap and eat it. This 2 leeks for a serving. is 130 calories. There's some 11 fat, less than 1 gram of carbs. Perfect. And 7 grams of protein. So I'm gonna pack a couple of these and head out. I'm gonna go with 3 of them, 1.5 servings. Got dumped on with like a bunch of snow the last few days. We had like no snow, and now like all of a sudden we have like a foot, maybe even more. Yeah. Except for now, it's gonna be like 10 degrees today. So no sledding. So I just dropped my mom off to her car. We ended up going to like the Amish store and Tractor Supply and the Dollar Tree. I think I'm just gonna go home because I left the house at like 11 and it's already almost 2. I need to go let the dogs out and have some lunch so that I'm not like binging later, because we don't want that to happen. Anyway, so I just got home from shopping with my mom. This wild rice, marinated mushrooms. So these are packed with flavor, and it's 1 carb per serving. So you can have 2 tablespoons of these for 1 carb. Also was at the Dollar Tree and they have these tuna, wild caught tuna, which whenever I'm going for fish, I try to look for the wild caught ones. And these are 23 grams of protein per can. Your macros here, 3.5 fat, 2 grams of carbs, and 23 grams of protein. So, I mean, that's a really good source of protein right there for $1.25. I'm also a firm believer that you need to have balance. You can have this when you're trying to lose weight. You can, if you can have self-control. This whole package for 130 calories. Awesome. There is 33 grams of carbs in this and not much else. So if that's what you want to spend your carbs on for the day, go for it. It's Pure Kick drink mix. Okay, 0 sugar, which is great. There's 80 milligrams of caffeine in there. The macros on these, kind of like the other one, is 2 grams of carbs and 10 calories. Okay, so I'm making my lunch. I got 2 eggs in here. I've got 100 grams of zucchini, 100 grams of mushrooms. I'm gonna put a half a cup of pre-cooked quinoa in there when this is basically done cooking, just so it warms up. So that's done. This is what I like to put on my food instead of cheese. 0 calories. Again, probably not the best ingredients, but right now we're just worried about macros. 0, 0, and 0. I wouldn't use a ton of this, but just enough to give it some good flavor to make it enjoyable. Ooh, muffin. I need something to hold me over. So I'm gonna have this. It is 230 calories, 8 grams of fat, 21 grams of carbs, and 20 grams of protein. Feeling a little bit chocolatey. I'm gonna have a tablespoon of these on top. We've got 4.5 fat, 9 carbs, 1 gram of protein. Put it on top of that. So melty and everything. She wants to eat it, but it's mine. We'll fry up these pork chops in some coconut oil. I made marsala sauce, mushrooms, cream, marsala, garlic, a little bit of butter, and then I'm gonna steam some veggies.
Come to that.
last meal of the day. I had a lot of protein to try to get in. I wouldn't normally do this. I would try to eat more protein for like breakfast and lunch. But because I'm desperate, this does not look appetizing. But it's actually good. It's a cup of 000 vanilla yogurt. It is a half a cup of 4% cottage cheese. And then 2 scoops of my cookies and cream protein powder. It's kind of like a pudding. I would have put it in the blender, but that's in the dishwasher. So I'm just gonna eat it like this, and that's gonna be my last meal of the day. And I will put a rundown of like my macros on my MyFitnessPal after this, and you'll see like my numbers and what I ate and how close I was. As far as I know, I've tracked everything correctly. I try to get it within like 10 grams of my goal, like give or take. Stick around and see what happens next. Go!